There is a silence that surrounds you before something profound begins to unfold. It is not a silence you hear with your ears, but one that echoes through the chambers of your inner being. This silence does not arrive with ceremony. It does not knock. It simply exists, waiting for you to notice it. Before the world speaks, before others give you validation, before even you are fully certain, there comes this moment, this calling, that only you can hear. Not everyone is chosen to hear it, and those who do often dismiss it, because it doesn't come wrapped in praise or recognition. It comes in solitude, in longing, in discomfort, in the stillness when no one is watching and your mind is no longer running. It comes as a question that refuses to leave you alone. Is there more to this life than what I have allowed myself to see? You don't need to be told that something in you is different. You already feel it. Perhaps for years you've known that you think differently, that you sense things others do not, that you carry a responsibility on your shoulders that no one assigned to you, yet you feel it as deeply as the blood in your veins. Being chosen does not mean being above anyone else. It does not mean being more special, more gifted, or more holy. It simply means being awake to a truth that most are still sleeping through, and because you are awake, you see what others overlook. You carry what others avoid, and you ask questions most are too afraid to whisper. If this resonates, it is not coincidence, it is alignment. You have been chosen not by accident, but because your spirit is mature enough to begin again. Not outwardly, but inward, not with noise, but with deep silent clarity. Many people wait for signs. They wait for confirmation from the external world, from fortune, from people, from results. But the chosen know that the sign is not something outside you. It is the very discomfort you feel in your current life. That restless whisper inside you is the sign. That desire to go deeper, to detach from the noise, to simplify, to center yourself again, that is the calling. And it is not just calling for you to change what you do. It is calling you to change what you are becoming. When life begins to strip away your comforts, when your old habits start to feel poisonous, when your friends no longer understand your thoughts, it is not because you are breaking, it is because you are outgrowing. Growth is uncomfortable not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are beginning to move in alignment with your truth, and everything that was false must now fall away. June 22, 2025 is a symbol of such a threshold. Not for everyone, but for the one who can see it. Not as a date on a calendar, but as a mirror held up to the soul, a life of meaning, a life of discipline, a life where your actions match your inner truth. But this life will not be handed to you. You must walk toward it, one silent step at a time, and those steps begin now. To hear the calling, you must quiet your mind, and to quiet your mind, you must first withdraw your energy from the wrong places. Too many people are exhausted not because they are working hard, but because they are leaking energy into things that don't matter, into people who don't care, into outcomes that don't serve, into arguments that don't grow. And so they become disconnected from the sound of their own spirit. They cannot hear the calling anymore. Not because it stopped speaking, but because they forgot how to listen. Listening is not about sound, it is about attention. When your attention returns to your breath, your body, your being, the silence returns. And in that silence is a very old voice, the voice of your truest self, the one who remembers why you came here. If you are hearing this, you are not lost. You are being redirected. You are not being punished, you are being purified. Life has seen your struggle. Life has witnessed your quiet tears. Life has heard every thought you've had in the darkest of nights when you wondered if it would ever change. And now it is responding, but not with a loud announcement, with a quiet opportunity. The chosen do not wait for motivation. They do not chase pleasure. They do not seek comfort. They seek alignment. They wake up not because it's easy, but because they made a vow to themselves. I will not abandon my soul again. This vow is sacred, and once you make it, the world will test you. Not because it wants you to fail, but because it wants to see if you are truly ready. The difference between those who rise and those who remain asleep is not talent. It is not background. It is not luck. It is one thing: the ability to act on the silent truth they carry within. To take one step forward even when they are afraid. To say no to distractions even when they feel lonely. To keep moving even when the outcome is unclear. The chosen don't always feel chosen. In fact, most of the time, they feel unworthy, unseen, and misunderstood. But they continue anyway. That is what makes them chosen. Not their strength, their commitment. Not their perfection, their persistence. Right now, you may be in a place of confusion, or perhaps a place of isolation. You may feel like no one understands you anymore, that what once satisfied you now leaves you empty. This is not something to fear, it is something to respect. It means you are shedding, you are transitioning. The old self is dissolving, and a new self is emerging. But that emergence is not automatic. It must be chosen, and to choose it, you must first stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you are fine when you are not. Stop pretending you are satisfied when your soul is starving. Stop acting like this version of your life is all there is. It is not. It is a chapter, and this chapter can close if you are willing to pick up the pen again and write differently. You are not too late, you are right on time. But you must listen. Listen not with your ears but with your awareness. Listen to the stillness beneath the surface of your life, the space between your thoughts, the feeling that you are meant for something more, not something louder or richer, but something realer. The spiritual path is not about escape, it is about embodiment. It is about returning to your body, your breath, your being, and moving from that place with precision. The more you practice this, the more clarity you receive. And clarity is the doorway to courage. Do not expect the path to be easy. The path is not made of comfort, it is made of choice. Every day you will choose, will I go back to sleep or will I stay awake? Will I numb myself with distractions or will I face the inner fire and transform? Will I repeat the old story or will I write a new one? These choices determine whether you remain among the many or rise among the few. Not because you are better, but because you are more honest with yourself, with your life, with what truly matters. The time has come to stop negotiating with your inner knowing. Stop bargaining with your truth. Stop delaying your discipline. There is no better time than now. June 22, 2025 is not special because something will happen. It is special because you can make something happen. It is a doorway, and like all doorways, it can be closed. Do not let it close while you are still asleep. When the silence speaks, do not run from it. Sit with it, honor it, because that silence is not empty. It is full of everything you've been seeking. Guidance, strength, vision, peace, and it is already inside you. The world taught you to look everywhere else, but the calling brings you home, to yourself. The most sacred path begins not with a step, but with a decision to return, and once you return, everything begins to shift. So if you are reading these words, understand, this is not just a message, it is a mirror. And in that mirror is the version of you that has been waiting for you to stop pretending, waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to rise. Not later, not when it's convenient, now. Because you are not just anyone. You are chosen. Not to impress the world, but to remember the truth, to walk with intention, to speak with clarity, to live in alignment, and to honor the flame that still burns inside you, even after everything you've faced. That flame is your guide. Protect it, feed it, follow it. The silent calling is not for everyone, but if you hear it, it is for you. Honor it. Before June 22, before the window closes, before you forget what it feels like to truly remember who you are. There is a heaviness you carry that no one fully sees. It shows in your posture, in your breath, in your eyes when you think no one is watching. It is the weight of everything you have endured and everything you continue to endure. The unanswered questions, the hidden grief, the responsibilities that others never acknowledge, and most of all, the silent battles that live inside you, the ones that have shaped who you are. This weight is not random, it is not a punishment, it is not a curse. It is a compass, it is pointing you somewhere, inward. It is trying to direct your attention to something deeper, but most people never see it that way. Most people look at the weight and believe something is wrong with them. They try to get rid of it, they numb it, suppress it, distract from it. But you are beginning to understand something different. You are beginning to recognize that this burden is not the enemy, it is the guide. The suffering you carry has never been meaningless. Every tear, every ache, every night you thought you couldn't go on, they were all part of a refinement, not a breaking, but a shaping. Something inside you has been carved out by your experiences, and though you may not yet see what it's making space for, the space itself is sacred. It is preparation. What hurts you is not always against you. Sometimes it is the pain itself that forces you to go deeper, to stop living on the surface, to find your essence. The outer world cannot show you your path when your inner world is ignored, but the weight you carry forces your attention back inside. It teaches you to listen not with your ears but with your spirit. When life gives you pain, it is not a sign that you are weak, it is often a sign that you are being called to awaken. Those who are chosen are not chosen because they are lucky. They are chosen because they are ready. Ready to walk with discomfort, ready to remain still when storms come. Ready to face themselves, not run from themselves. The warrior path is not built on ease, it is built on endurance. And endurance is not glamorous. It is quiet. It is the decision to carry on when nothing around you gives you a reason to. It is the choice to maintain dignity even when life feels undignified. It is the strength to carry your suffering with grace without turning it into resentment. The weight you carry is not asking you to collapse. It is asking you to rise, but not in the way the world defines rising. It is not about pushing harder, proving yourself or showing strength to others. It is about understanding yourself, about listening to what the weight is pointing to. Pain is a compass. It does not point to pleasure, it points to truth. And truth is rarely comfortable, but it is always freeing. Every emotional wound you carry is an arrow pointing you to a part of yourself that needs healing, that needs care, that needs your own attention. Not to be fixed, but to be understood. You do not overcome the weight by pretending it's not there. You overcome it by meeting it with awareness, sitting with it, asking what it is here to teach you. There is an ancient wisdom that says a man's true strength is not in how much he can lift, but in how much he can carry and still remain silent. Silence does not mean suppression, it means presence. It means you no longer complain, not because you don't feel pain, but because you've learned to carry it with intention. You've learned that the weight is shaping you. You no longer resist it, you work with it. And in that cooperation, you develop a deep, unshakable power. This power is not loud, it is still. It radiates through your eyes, through your breath, through your posture. You become the kind of person who no longer needs to explain themselves. Your presence speaks for you. Because you carry something most have never touched. The wisdom born of suffering. But to arrive here, you must be willing to suffer consciously. Most people suffer unconsciously. They resist the weight, deny it, blame others for it. But this only prolongs the pain. The chosen ones are different. They embrace the weight, not with victimhood, but with reverence. They recognize that the weight is part of their path, that it is not in the way, it is the way, and so they walk with it. They breathe into it, they allow it to teach them patience, humility, compassion. They do not ask for life to become easier, they ask to become stronger, not in the ego, but in the spirit. Look at your own life. Every chapter that humbled you made you wiser. Every heartbreak that shattered your illusions taught you something real. Every disappointment that stole your comfort built your resilience. These experiences were not curses, they were assignments. Not to crush you, but to call you into presence, to call you into discipline, to call you into your true self. And if you are reading this now, it is because something in you has already started to listen. Something in you has already begun the shift from avoidance to awareness. That shift is everything. It is the beginning of transformation. Not because the weight will vanish, but because you will no longer carry it in the same way. There is a saying in martial arts: you cannot control your opponent until you control yourself. The same is true with pain. You cannot master the pain until you master your response to it. And your response begins with how you perceive it. If you see the weight as a punishment, you will become bitter. If you see it as a challenge, you will become proud. But if you see it as a compass, you will become wise. And wisdom lasts longer than any emotion. It outlives fear. It outlasts doubt. It stays with you even when everything else falls apart. You may ask, why me? Why must I carry so much? And the answer is this: because you are strong enough to. Because life has seen something in you that you have not fully seen in yourself. It has entrusted you with a deeper mission, not to escape your burdens, but to embody them with clarity, to turn your wounds into insight, to turn your struggles into stories that lift others. Not because you seek attention, but because your journey becomes silent, powerful medicine that heals not through words, but through example. Many people are addicted to being understood, but those who carry deep weight must become comfortable being misunderstood. You will not always be seen, you will not always be validated, but that is not the goal. The goal is not to be recognized. The goal is to be real. To walk through your life with integrity, whether or not anyone is watching. To become the kind of person who does not need to tell others they are strong, because their stillness, their endurance, their eyes already reveal it. This is the unseen power of the chosen ones. They walk among others, but they are different. Not better, different, more tuned to the quiet, more aware of the invisible, more grounded in the present, because they have carried the kind of weight that breaks illusions, the kind of weight that strips away false identities, the kind of weight that forces you to discover what remains when everything else is taken from you. And what remains is who you truly are, not your name, not your achievements, not your personality, but your presence, your discipline, your essence. There will be days when you feel like you cannot carry on, days when the weight feels too much. That is normal. But in those moments, remember this: you are not carrying it alone. You carry the strength of all those who walked this path before you. Silent warriors, monks, healers, leaders who never sought attention, souls who also suffered in silence and emerged not bitter but beautiful. You are part of that lineage now. You may not wear their robes, but you carry their spirit. And that spirit does not give up. It pauses, it breathes, and then it continues. So ask yourself, not how can I get rid of this burden, but what is this burden trying to show me? Where is it pointing me? What part of myself have I ignored for too long? What discipline have I neglected? What truth have I not been willing to admit? The weight is your compass. It points to your next evolution. If you follow it with awareness, it will not crush you. It will carry you to the version of yourself you were always meant to become. Most of the world wants to feel light, but the chosen know that some things are worth carrying. Honor, commitment, integrity, self-awareness. These things have weight, and they are worth every ounce, because when you carry them, you do not walk in confusion, you walk in direction. You walk with your head held high, not out of pride, but out of inner alignment. You no longer seek a life without burden, you seek a life with meaningful burden. In the end, it is not about how much you have suffered, it is about what you have done with that suffering. Whether you have allowed it to harden you or humble you, whether you have used it to harm others or heal yourself, whether you have allowed it to build your ego or dissolve it. The weight is not here to destroy you, it is here to awaken you. And if you are willing to listen, to truly listen, it will lead you exactly where you need to go. Not just in the world, but within yourself. This path is not for everyone, but if you are still reading these words, it is for you. Because you have felt the weight, and now you must understand its meaning. Then carry it with grace, with awareness, with dignity, and let it lead you to the truth of who you are becoming. There is a flame inside you. It did not come from this world. It is older than your body, older than your memories, older than your name. It is the essence of your spirit, the light of your awareness, the warmth of your purpose. And this flame, though often overlooked, is sacred. It is quiet, it is small, and it is always vulnerable to being extinguished. Most people lose this flame without realizing it. They lose it not because they are weak or foolish, but because they forget. They forget to protect it. They forget to feed it. They forget to honor it. They get caught in the machinery of the modern world, in the noise, in the urgency, in the performance of life. And in the process, something inside slowly dims. Until one day they wake up and feel cold inside, numb, disconnected. They no longer know who they are. And it is not because something external has changed, it is because the flame within has gone out. But the chosen know something different. They know this flame must be protected, not sometimes, not when it's convenient, but always, because it is the source of everything. When your inner flame is strong, you are clear, you are grounded, you are steady, you do not chase, you attract, you do not react, you respond, you do not drown in chaos, you breathe through it. But when your flame weakens, your mind wanders, your energy scatters, your spirit becomes tired, you begin to tolerate things that drain you, you begin to allow people into your space who distort your vision, you begin to forget what matters, and eventually you begin to doubt what you once knew so deeply. This is not weakness, it is the result of spiritual neglect. You forgot the discipline of protection. To protect the flame is to protect your access to your truth. It is to protect your silence, your stillness, your clarity. And in this time, in this world, this protection is not optional. It is essential. Because everything around you is designed to distract. Everything is designed to fragment your attention, to pull you away from your center, to seduce you into believing that peace is out there somewhere. In status, in speed, in success. But peace is not out there. Peace is within the flame. And that flame is not maintained by accident. It is maintained by intention, by ritual, by discipline. You must become the guardian of your own energy. You must watch what enters your mind, what occupies your space, what consumes your time. Because every interaction is an exchange, every conversation, every piece of content, every thought either adds to your flame or drains it. And most people are giving away their flame without knowing it. They wake up and give their attention to things that don't feed them. They spend hours arguing, scrolling, consuming, worrying, and then they wonder why they feel lost, empty, exhausted. It is because they are leaking energy, not through effort, but through absence of awareness. To protect the flame is to reclaim your life. It is to become conscious of your inner world and take responsibility for your inner state. This requires solitude, not isolation, but sacred solitude. Time where you return to your breath, to your body, to the present moment. Time where you unplug from the artificial and reconnect with what is real. You do not need more information, you do not need more noise, you need silence. You need to hear the sound of your own spirit again, because in that silence, the flame grows stronger. And when it grows stronger, you begin to see again. You begin to know again, you begin to remember. Protecting the flame also means saying no, not just to others, but to yourself. To the parts of yourself that crave comfort over growth, to the habits that feel good in the moment but slowly poison your peace, to the urges that pull you toward escape instead of embodiment. You cannot walk the path of awakening while feeding the same patterns that keep you asleep. You must choose, and you must choose every day, because the world will always offer you an easier way, but the easier way is often the path to disconnection. When you begin to truly protect your flame, people may not understand. They may say you are becoming distant, different, even selfish. Let them say it. The path of the awakened is not about pleasing others. It is about aligning with truth. And truth often separates before it unites. You may have to walk alone for a while. You may have to release relationships that no longer support your growth. You may have to disappoint others to remain loyal to your own soul. This is the price of presence, and though it may hurt at first, the reward is great, because in that presence, your flame begins to illuminate everything. You no longer seek direction, you become the compass. You no longer wait for motivation, you become the fire. You no longer look for validation, you walk with quiet certainty. This is the silent revolution of the chosen ones. They stop outsourcing their power. They stop giving their light away in exchange for temporary comfort. They realize that the world is full of noise, but within them is a space that is untouched, unbothered, unbroken. That space is sacred. It cannot be polluted unless you allow it. But once it is polluted, it takes great effort to clean. So protect it before it is too late. Don't wait for the burnout. Don't wait for the breakdown. Don't wait for the crisis. Begin now. Begin with small choices. Rise before the world wakes up and reclaim your morning. Limit your exposure to things that agitate your nervous system. Say no to anything that makes your heart contract. Say yes to the small rituals that nourish your inner stillness. This is not weakness, this is inner mastery. And it is mastery that the flame responds to. The more you cultivate discipline, the brighter the flame grows. And with that brightness comes clarity. You begin to see where your energy has been leaking. You begin to recognize the patterns that keep you stuck. You begin to forgive yourself, not from guilt, but from understanding. Because you see now, you see how far you had drifted. You see how much of your life you've lived in reaction. You see how often you abandoned your own needs to be accepted. And in seeing, you begin the journey back. Back to your flame, back to your center. The beauty of this path is that the flame never truly dies. Even when it is buried, dimmed, almost forgotten, it is still there, waiting. It does not judge you. It does not punish you. It simply waits for your return. Like a monk waiting in the cave of your heart, it sits in perfect stillness, and the moment you choose to return, it welcomes you without hesitation. But do not take this for granted, because while the flame is patient, the world is not. The world will keep pulling you further from yourself, and if you do not make a deliberate choice to protect what is sacred, you will be swept away by what is superficial. The time to protect the flame is not tomorrow, it is not next week, it is now. Because every day you delay, the distractions grow stronger and the flame grows weaker. Every day you postpone your discipline, you lose touch with the very thing that keeps you alive on the inside. Do not confuse motion with meaning. Do not confuse productivity with presence. Do not confuse being busy with being aligned. Your outer life will never be more peaceful than your inner life. So protect the place where peace begins. Protect the fire that keeps your soul warm. Protect the silence that speaks louder than any noise. This protection is not dramatic. It is not about retreating from the world. It is about showing up in the world with presence. It is about walking into chaos with calm, about breathing with intention, about listening deeply, moving slowly, acting with clarity. You become like the Shaolin monk who walks through the fire untouched. Not because the fire is gone, but because he carries water within. His flame is protected. And so he is free, not free from challenge, but free from confusion. That is the freedom you seek. Not a life without struggle, but a life with inner harmony. Not a life without demands, but a life where your center cannot be shaken. This is the gift of protecting the flame. And it is a gift that only you can give yourself. No one can protect it for you. Not your teacher, not your partner, not your friends. Only you. Only your awareness. Only your discipline. Only your daily choices. So if you feel your flame is dimming, do not panic. Return. Return to what is real. Return to what nourishes. Return to the breath. Return to your body. Return to the moment. Strip away the unnecessary. Simplify your space. Center your thoughts. Connect with nature. Move with mindfulness. Speak with kindness. And above all, rest in silence. It is there the flame breathes. You are not here to live in reaction. You are not here to survive off scraps of energy. You are not here to be tossed around by the opinions of others. You are here to embody the fire of truth, to walk with unwavering peace, to live with quiet power. But to do that, you must protect the source, protect the flame, before it is too late, before you forget, before you are too far gone to remember what it felt like to burn with clarity. And even now, as you read this, your flame is listening. It is stirring. It is flickering. It is waiting for you to choose. Will you continue to let life distract you from yourself? Or will you turn inward and tend to what truly matters? There is no more time to waste. The flame is your guide, your compass, your strength. Protect it, not with fear, but with love. Not with rules, but with awareness. Not with urgency, but with presence. This is the path of the chosen. This is the discipline of the silent warrior. This is the way. There are moments in life that do not come twice. They arrive quietly and without warning, as a subtle opening in the flow of time. an invisible door that does not swing open with force, but merely tilts for a while. The ones who are still, the ones who are attentive, the ones who are prepared in silence, they are the ones who walk through. But most people do not see this window, not because they are incapable, but because they are distracted, because they are too loud on the inside, because they have become numb to the voice within them that whispers, now, not tomorrow, not when the stars align, not when you feel ready, now. There is a reason why some people spend decades repeating the same cycle, the same habits, the same mistakes, even while begging for change. It is not because they do not want to grow, it is because they miss the window. They postpone action, they hesitate when it matters, they wait for confirmation from the outside world before answering a calling that was never meant to be public. The truth is this: when life gives you a window to change, it will not force you through it. It will only invite you. But if you ignore the invitation, if you delay, if you entertain distractions instead of responding, the window closes. And when it does, you are left in the same room, staring at the same walls, wondering why nothing feels different. But it is not life that failed to deliver, it is you who failed to respond. The most dangerous illusion is not failure. The most dangerous illusion is that you have more time. Time to delay your discipline, time to ignore your instincts, time to keep living a life that drains your soul, hoping that one day something will magically change. But there is no magic, there is only presence. And presence requires action. Grounded action. The kind of action that emerges from a deep inner stillness. The moment when you realize that waiting has become a disguise for fear. And fear is clever. It does not always come with trembling or panic. Sometimes it hides behind logic, behind the voice that says, maybe later, behind the excuses dressed as strategy, behind the plans that never meet the ground. Fear does not always scream, sometimes it whispers, and in those whispers the flame begins to fade, the fire begins to die, not because it is extinguished from the outside, but because you have stopped breathing into it from within. And once the fire is gone, once your inner commitment weakens, the world no longer reflects possibilities. It mirrors stagnation. You feel stuck, not because there is no path forward, but because you stopped walking. June 22, 2025 is not just a date on the calendar. It is not about the number or the season. It is about alignment. There is something in this moment, a spiritual momentum that is rising. Not for everyone, but for those who are awake, for those who feel the shift, for those who can sense that something inside is calling for movement. Not the kind of movement that distracts, but the kind that transforms, the kind that begins from within. The kind that says, you have waited long enough. You have postponed the inevitable long enough. You have dimmed your light for too many years. Now is the time. And yet, even when the call is clear, many will still hesitate. They will say, but what if I fail? And to that, life responds, failure is not missing the mark. Failure is missing the moment. You do not become weak by trying and falling. You become weak by knowing and not moving. By seeing the window and still choosing the wall. By hearing the call and pretending you are deaf. The universe does not punish you. It simply moves on. It offers the opportunity to the next one who is willing, not because it is cruel, but because truth does not wait forever. Action is sacred, not because it guarantees success, but because it aligns you with your spirit. The moment you act on your inner knowing, something changes, not outside, but within. You begin to breathe deeper, you begin to stand taller, you begin to remember who you are. Not because everything becomes easier, but because you are no longer divided. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, they become one. And in that unity, you discover a new power, the power of alignment, the power of now. You have carried wisdom inside you for years. Lessons you've learned through pain, visions you've seen in silence, dreams you've buried under the pressure of surviving. But none of it means anything if you do not act. The tree does not grow because the seed is full of potential. It grows because the seed breaks, because it surrenders, because it reaches through the soil. And that is the path of the chosen, to move with faith, not fear, to act, not because everything is perfect, but because the moment is sacred. Your life will not transform by information alone. It will transform when your insight meets your courage, when your knowing meets your movement, when your silence gives birth to intention, and intention becomes action. The path of spiritual warriors is not built on theories. It is built on steps, one after another, simple, silent, steady, every step a prayer, every breath a vow, every decision a sharpening of the blade, until your life becomes a reflection of your practice, until your presence speaks louder than your promises. There is no more time to wait. The longer you hesitate, the deeper the roots of stagnation grow. And stagnation is not neutral, it is corrosive. It eats away at your confidence, your clarity, your vitality. It feeds your doubt, it feeds your fear. It convinces you that change is too big, too risky, too late. But the truth is, change does not require the world's permission. It requires your choice. And your choice begins now, not after everything makes sense, not after the pain disappears, not after others support you. Now. To act before the window closes is to honor the life force that flows through you. It is to say to yourself, I will no longer delay my becoming. It is to recognize that every breath you take is borrowed, and what you do with that breath is your offering. Let your offering be honest. Let it be disciplined. Let it be alive. Because this life is not a rehearsal. It is not a draft. It is the real thing. And you have already wasted enough time pretending otherwise. There is a fire inside you that has been waiting for your commitment. It does not want more plans. It wants proof. The proof is not in your words. It is in your actions. Wake up earlier. Speak your truth. The warrior does not wait for the battle to be perfect. He sharpens his blade in silence. He moves before the noise begins. He prepares when no one is watching, because he knows that action taken in stillness carries more power than 1,000 words shouted in fear. He knows that the discipline of now is the path to liberation. And so must you act, not from urgency, but from clarity. Not because time is running out, but because your truth is rising up. And it demands embodiment. It demands movement. It demands your hands, your feet, your voice. It demands your participation in the unfolding of your own life. Every great transformation begins with a single decision. I will no longer betray my own knowing. From that decision comes direction. From direction comes devotion. From devotion comes destiny. And your destiny is not written in the stars, it is written in your steps, it is written in your breath, it is written in the way you live today. Do not wait until the window closes to remember what could have been. Do not let regret become your teacher. Let presence guide you. Let awareness move you. Let courage carry you through the threshold. You have been prepared for this. Life has been shaping you for this. Now the window is here. Step through it. Not because it is easy, but because it is right. Because you are ready. My dear friends, congratulations. If you are here before 21 September 2025, it is not a coincidence. Life has aligned you with this message because there is something you need to awaken within yourself. Every moment carries meaning, and every day offers us the possibility to redirect the course of our destiny. This date is not just a number on the calendar. It is a reminder that your time is precious, your energy is powerful, and your choices will carve the path ahead. You are not watching this by accident. You are here because there is something inside you ready to grow, ready to rise, ready to step into the next chapter of life. Awareness is the beginning, and if you truly understand this, you will realize that everything you are searching for in your life starts from this one point. Imagine for a moment that you are walking through a forest in complete darkness. You may be surrounded by beautiful trees, fresh air, and hidden paths, but because you cannot see, you stumble, you hesitate, you walk in circles. The forest is the same. The opportunities are there, but your lack of awareness keeps you blind. Now imagine a small light is placed in your hand. Suddenly the same forest appears different. The same trees that felt like obstacles become landmarks, and the same paths that were hidden now guide you. What changed? Not the forest, not the world around you, but your awareness. This is why awareness is the beginning of all transformation. Most people live as if they are sleepwalking. They wake up, they repeat routines, they chase after things without asking themselves why. They get lost in distractions, they consume information, they react to life instead of living consciously. Awareness is like waking up from a dream. When you wake up, you begin to see clearly what is happening inside you and around you. You begin to recognize your thoughts not as commands, but as choices. You begin to recognize your emotions not as rulers, but as signals. You begin to recognize that life is not something happening against you, but something happening for you. But why is awareness so rare? Because it requires courage to open your eyes fully. Awareness shows you not only your strengths, but also your weaknesses. It shows you where you are wasting time, where you are running away, where you are dishonest with yourself. Many people prefer to remain blind because then they do not need to change. But if you are listening to this message, it means you already carry within you the courage to wake up. Awareness is painful at first because it strips away illusions, but it is also liberating because illusions are the chains that keep you trapped. Think of a person who blames the world for everything. I cannot succeed because my family was poor, because society is unfair, because my boss does not support me, because life is hard. That person is asleep even if their eyes are open. They live in darkness, blaming shadows, never realizing that the first step is to turn inward and ask, what is my responsibility? What is within my control? Where am I repeating the same mistakes? Awareness turns blame into responsibility, and responsibility is power. When you take responsibility, you take your life back into your own hands. Awareness also means paying attention to the present moment. We are always running, either towards the future or away from the past. We replay memories, we project fears, and in doing so, we miss the only place where life actually happens, the present. If you stop now, breathe, and bring your attention fully to this moment, you will discover a quiet strength that has always been with you. The present is not just a passing second, it is the doorway to clarity, peace, and action. Many people ask, what is my destiny? The answer is simple. Your destiny is shaped by what you do with this present moment. Because the present moment is the seed of all your tomorrows. Awareness transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary practices. Drinking water can become an act of gratitude if you are aware of the life flowing into you. Walking can become meditation if you are aware of each step touching the ground. Speaking can become healing if you are aware of your words before they leave your lips. Without awareness, even great opportunities are wasted. With awareness, even small actions become powerful. When I say awareness is the beginning, I also mean it is the foundation of discipline, freedom, and wisdom. You cannot discipline yourself if you are not aware of your habits. You cannot be free if you are not aware of what enslaves you. You cannot be wise if you are not aware of your ignorance. Awareness shines a light on your patterns. It shows you the loops you repeat every day, complaining, procrastinating, doubting yourself. It shows you the subtle moments where you give your power away, scrolling endlessly, seeking approval, postponing your dreams. Once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. That is the gift and the challenge of awareness. But seeing is not enough. Awareness is the beginning, not the end. When you see clearly, you must then choose. Many people awaken for a moment, but fall back into sleep because they do not act on their awareness. It is like seeing a locked door with the key in your hand, but refusing to turn the key. Awareness without action becomes frustration, but awareness combined with action becomes transformation. This is why the date before 21st September matters for you. It is a call to act on what you are becoming aware of now. Think about your relationships. Are you aware of the energy you bring into them? Do you see how often you listen only to reply instead of to understand? Are you aware of how your words can either uplift or wound the people around you? With awareness, love becomes deeper, friendships become real, and even conflicts become opportunities for growth. Without awareness, we hurt each other, often without meaning to, and then wonder why we feel lonely. Think about your body. Are you aware of how you treat it? Are you conscious of what you eat? How you breathe, how you move? The body is the temple of your spirit, yet many people only notice it when it breaks down. Awareness of the body allows you to live with vitality, strength, and balance. Every inhale and exhale can be a meditation if you choose to notice it. Think about your mind. Are you aware of the stories you tell yourself? Every day your mind speaks thousands of thoughts, many of them repetitive. Some thoughts empower you, others weaken you. Are you aware of which ones you choose to believe? A thought like, "I am not enough," can imprison you for years if you are not aware of its falseness. Awareness gives you the ability to question, to pause, to choose a different thought. I am learning. I am growing. I am capable. Now think about your purpose. Are you aware of what truly matters to you? Or are you simply chasing what others have told you matters? Awareness cuts through the noise of the world and connects you to your inner voice. Deep down, you already know what makes you feel alive, what work brings meaning to your life, what dreams light up your heart. But without awareness, you drown in comparison, always looking at others instead of listening to yourself. Awareness reminds you the answers are already within. When awareness becomes your daily practice, life itself becomes your teacher. Every person you meet reflects something about yourself. Every challenge shows you where you need to grow. Every success shows you what you are capable of. Nothing is wasted, nothing is meaningless, because awareness turns everything into wisdom. This is why today is a gift. If you are hearing these words before 21 September 2025, it means you still have time to open your eyes wider, to pay closer attention, to wake up fully. Do not underestimate this moment. One small shift in awareness today can create a completely different future tomorrow. If you become aware that your words carry power, you will speak differently. If you become aware that your time is limited, you will spend it more wisely. If you become aware that love is fragile, you will cherish it more deeply. Awareness is not something you achieve once. It is something you practice every moment. When the mind begins to wander, awareness brings it back. When fear tries to paralyze you, awareness reveals that fear is just a thought. When anger rises, awareness allows you to pause before you react. When doubt whispers, awareness reminds you that doubt is not truth. This is the power of living awake. Life does not become easier, but you become clearer, calmer, stronger. And remember, awareness is contagious. When you live with awareness, you inspire others to do the same. Your presence becomes lighter, your energy becomes calmer, and people feel it even without words. A single person who lives awake can influence an entire family, an entire community. That is why the world needs your awareness. So I tell you once more, congratulations if you see this before 21 September 2025. Life is offering you a chance to wake up, to see what you could not see before, to begin again with clarity. Do not wait for tomorrow. Begin now. Pay attention to your breath, to your thoughts, to your actions, to the people around you. This simple practice of awareness will change everything, because awareness is the beginning, and from the beginning, everything becomes possible. Time is your silent teacher. It has been with you since the very first breath you took, and it will remain with you until your last. It does not speak with words. It does not shout. It does not argue. And yet it leaves lessons everywhere for those who are willing to pay attention. Time is the most generous and the most ruthless teacher at once. Generous because it gives you each day as a gift. Ruthless because once that day passes, it will never return. To live without awareness of time is to live as if you are asleep. But to recognize the teaching of time is to awaken to the truth of life itself. Think of a river flowing. The water never stops, never waits, never turns back. You may stand in the same spot of the river, but the water you touch is never the same. Time is like that river. Every moment passes and is gone forever. You cannot capture it, you cannot hold it in your hand, you cannot bargain with it. The child becomes the youth becomes the adult becomes the elder, all carried by the current of time. And yet many live as if this current is endless, as if there will always be more time, as if the river will pause for them. But time does not pause. It continues silently, patiently, carrying everything along. The first lesson time teaches is humility. No matter who you are, no matter how much wealth, power, or knowledge you accumulate, you are bound by time. Kings and beggars, scholars and children, all share the same 24 hours in a day. Time reminds us that we are equal in this way. The question is not how much time you have, but how you choose to use the time you are given. Some waste it in distraction, in regret, in fear. Others use it to grow, to love, to create, to discover. Time does not care which choice you make, but your life will reflect your choice. The second lesson of time is impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. The seasons change, the body ages, relationships evolve, opportunities appear and disappear. If you cling too tightly, you suffer, because you are trying to resist what time naturally does. Move forward. But if you learn to flow with time, you begin to see beauty in impermanence. The blooming flower is precious because you know it will not bloom forever. The laughter of your child is precious because you know that one day they will grow. The moments you share with loved ones are precious because you know nothing is guaranteed. Impermanence is not a curse. It is what makes everything valuable. The third lesson of time is discipline. When you recognize that time is limited, you stop wasting it on what does not matter. You begin to ask yourself, what is truly important for me? Where do I want to invest the hours of my life? Without discipline, time slips through your fingers like sand, unnoticed, unvalued. With discipline, you take each grain of sand and build something meaningful. Discipline is not about restriction, it is about alignment. It is about aligning your actions with your purpose so that your time serves your growth instead of your destruction. And the fourth lesson time teaches is presence. Because the past is already gone and the future is not yet born, the only time you truly have is now. Yet most people live everywhere except in the present. They live in memories, replaying what cannot be changed. They live in worries, imagining futures that may never come. And so they miss the present moment, which is the only place where life is real. Time teaches that the present moment is sacred. When you fully enter it, life becomes vivid, peaceful, and alive. When you taste food with awareness, when you listen deeply to someone you love, when you breathe and feel the air entering your lungs, this is where true living happens. Look at the people around you. Some waste years waiting for the right time. They wait for the right job, the right partner, the right opportunity, as if time will stop until they are ready. But time does not stop. It moves forward with or without you. Others spend their time regretting the past, wishing they could go back and change things. But no matter how deep your regret, time will not move backward. The only wise choice is to stand where you are now and use the time that is in your hands at this very moment. Sometimes we do not appreciate the teaching of time until it strikes with pain. When someone you love is gone, you realize you cannot call them again. You cannot say the words you left unsaid. When youth fades, you realize you cannot relive those carefree days. When opportunities vanish, you realize you cannot return to that moment of decision. Time teaches through loss, but the wise do not wait for loss to learn. They learn now, while time is still in their hands. To honor time is to live intentionally. It is to wake up in the morning and ask, how can I use today so that I will not regret tomorrow? It is to prioritize what nourishes your soul, not just what pleases your senses. It is to choose quality over quantity, depth over speed, meaning over distraction. Imagine if every morning you remembered that this day will never come again. How would you speak to people? How would you treat your body? How would you use your hours? That awareness would change everything, because you would no longer postpone what matters most. Time is also a healer. When the mind is heavy with pain, when the heart is broken, time brings perspective. Wounds that seem unbearable today will feel lighter tomorrow, and one day they will simply become memories. But time does not heal by itself. It heals when you allow yourself to learn from the pain, when you release what is past, when you open yourself to new beginnings. Time does not erase the lesson, but it softens the suffering. This too is part of its silent teaching. If you are listening before 21 September 2025, time is giving you a reminder you still have a chance. You still have the hours of today, the days before tomorrow, the possibility to redirect your path. Do not wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is always now. Time does not promise you next week, next month, next year. It only places this moment in your hand. And the question is, what will you do with it? Many people believe they do not have enough time. I am too busy, they say. But the truth is not about lacking time, it is about misusing it. Every person has the same 24 hours. The difference lies in where they place their attention. Some invest hours in worry, gossip, comparison, endless distractions. Others invest hours in learning, practicing, building, connecting, growing. Time is like money. You can spend it or invest it. One way leaves you empty, the other creates value. Time also teaches patience. Growth does not happen instantly. Seeds do not become trees in a day. Children do not become adults overnight. Skills do not become mastery in a week. Time reminds us that everything unfolds in rhythm, in seasons. You cannot rush winter into spring, and you cannot demand fruit from a tree that has just been planted. Patience with time allows you to trust the process, to continue working even when results are not yet visible. Impatience only creates suffering, but patience creates wisdom. The silence of time is also its greatest power. It does not speak, but it shows. Look at old photographs of yourself, and you will see what time has done. Look at the wrinkles on your parents' faces, and you will see what time has done. Look at the changing seasons, the shifting world, the rise and fall of nations, and you will see what time has done. Time does not need to explain itself. Its lessons are written everywhere for those who can see. And yet, despite knowing this, many people still act as if time is endless. They say, I will start tomorrow. I will forgive later. I will follow my dreams someday. But someday is not on the calendar. Someday is an illusion that time will expose as regret. The wise do not say someday, they say today. They know that each day lived fully is already a success, regardless of what tomorrow brings. Congratulations if you are here before 21 September, because time is placing in front of you a mirror. In that mirror, you see both the past you cannot change and the future that is not guaranteed. But in the middle stands today, your most precious gift. Do not ignore it. Do not waste it. Do not postpone the life that calls you. Use your time to become who you are meant to be. Use your time to love, to serve, to create, to grow. Because when time finally becomes silent for you, the only question that will matter is, did you truly live? Time is your silent teacher, and if you listen, it will show you everything you need to know. Discipline creates freedom. At first, this may sound like a paradox, because in the mind of most people, discipline feels like a restriction. It feels like chains, like rules, like limitation. Many believe that freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. But if you observe carefully, you will see that such a definition of freedom is only another form of imprisonment. The person who does whatever they want without awareness becomes a slave to their impulses, a slave to their habits, a slave to their distractions. The person who eats without discipline becomes a prisoner of their own body. The person who spends without discipline becomes a prisoner of debt. The person who speaks without discipline becomes a prisoner of regret. What looks like freedom without discipline is in reality chaos, and chaos always leads to suffering. True freedom comes only when your body, your mind, and your spirit serve you, instead of controlling you. And this is why discipline is the foundation of freedom. Discipline is not about punishment, it is about alignment. It is about aligning your actions with your highest purpose. It is about teaching yourself to choose what serves you in the long run, instead of what tempts you in the moment. A river without banks becomes a flood, but a river with boundaries flows with strength and direction. In the same way, discipline gives boundaries to your energy so that your life can flow with power. Think of a musician. At first, the instrument is difficult. The fingers are stiff, the sounds are awkward, the notes are painful to the ear. But through discipline, the musician practices every day, again and again, until the body remembers, until the mind becomes sharp, until the sound becomes harmony. And then, through discipline, the musician is free. Free to express, free to create, free to flow with music as naturally as breathing. Without discipline, the instrument is just noise. With discipline, it becomes freedom. Think of a martial artist. At first, the movements are clumsy, the body resists, the mind wanders. But through discipline, hours of training, sweat, repetition, patience, the movements become precise, the body becomes strong, the mind becomes still. And then, through discipline, the martial artist is free. Free to move with grace, free to respond with clarity, free to live with inner strength. Without discipline, the art is just struggle. With discipline, it becomes freedom. This is the hidden truth. Every form of mastery is born from discipline, and mastery is what gives freedom. The master of his craft is free to create. The master of his mind is free from fear. The master of his body is free to move without limitation. And mastery cannot be bought, cannot be borrowed, cannot be inherited. It can only be earned through discipline. But why do most people resist discipline? Because discipline demands patience, consistency, and sacrifice. Discipline does not give you instant results. Discipline asks you to delay gratification, to do what is hard now so that life becomes easier later. The mind that is addicted to comfort rebels against this. It whispers, sleep a little longer, eat what you want, skip today, do it tomorrow. And when you listen to that voice often enough, you build a habit of weakness. Weakness feels easier in the moment, but it steals your future. Discipline feels harder in the moment, but it builds your freedom. Freedom is not found in the absence of discipline. It is found on the other side of discipline. Imagine you want to climb a mountain. If you have no discipline, you will never begin, or you will quit halfway. If you rely only on motivation, you will fail, because motivation comes and goes like the weather. But discipline is the steady force that carries you step by step until you reach the peak. And once you are at the peak, you are free to see the world from above, free to breathe the pure air, free to feel the vastness of life. Without discipline, the mountain defeats you. With discipline, the mountain liberates you. Discipline is also a form of respect for yourself, for your time, for your purpose. When you discipline yourself to wake early, you are respecting the gift of the day. When you discipline yourself to care for your body, you are respecting the temple of your spirit. When you discipline yourself to speak truth, you are respecting the power of your word. Discipline is not someone forcing you. It is you choosing to respect yourself deeply enough to act with honor. Every great achievement you admire in the world, whether in art, science, philosophy, or spirituality, was built on discipline. The great thinkers disciplined their minds to question, to study, to reflect. The great athletes disciplined their bodies to endure, to move, to perform. The great leaders disciplined their choices, their words, their emotions so they could guide others. Greatness is not an accident, it is the natural outcome of discipline. And yet discipline does not have to be grand. It begins with small acts repeated daily. Waking up when you said you would, finishing what you started. Practicing gratitude before complaining. Breathing before reacting. Small disciplines accumulate like drops of water filling a jar, until one day the jar overflows with strength, clarity, and freedom. People look at the jar and say, "How did it become full?" They forget that it was filled one drop at a time. Discipline also protects you from regret. One day, when time has passed and youth has faded, you will look back on your life. If you lack discipline, you will see wasted opportunities, dreams unfulfilled, potential left unused. That regret is heavy, because you cannot turn back the clock. But if you lived with discipline, you will look back and see that you gave your best, that you honored your time, that you grew into who you were meant to be. That reflection is freedom, the freedom of knowing you did not waste your life. But discipline is not only about external actions, it is also about inner mastery. To discipline your mind is to free yourself from being a prisoner of thoughts. To discipline your emotions is to free yourself from being a prisoner of reactions. Imagine a person who gets angry at every small thing. They believe they are free because they express themselves, but in truth, they are slaves to anger. Their freedom is an illusion. Now imagine a person who has disciplined their emotions, who can feel anger without being consumed by it, who can choose patience instead of rage, who can choose understanding instead of judgment. That person is free, because they are no longer controlled by their impulses. This is why discipline creates freedom on every level. Physical discipline creates freedom of movement and health. Mental discipline creates freedom of clarity and focus. Emotional discipline creates freedom of peace and harmony. Spiritual discipline creates freedom of purpose and meaning. Without discipline, you are scattered, enslaved, divided. With discipline, you are whole, powerful, free. And remember, discipline is not about perfection. You will fail, you will stumble, you will fall short. But discipline means you get up again, you continue, you stay committed. Each failure becomes part of your training, each setback becomes part of your strength. The disciplined person is not the one who never fails, but the one who never quits. If you are listening before 21 September 2025, it is not by chance. Life is reminding you that the time you have now can be used to build discipline, and through discipline, you will build freedom. Do not wait until circumstances force discipline upon you. Do not wait until your health breaks to discipline your body. Do not wait until your relationships collapse to discipline your words. Do not wait until your opportunities vanish to discipline your time. Begin now with small acts of self-mastery and watch how your life transforms. One day, you will thank yourself for the discipline you practiced today. You will thank yourself for the early mornings, for the healthy choices, for the hours of practice, for the times you stayed calm instead of reacting, for the moments you chose truth instead of comfort. That gratitude will come because you will see that discipline gave you the freedom to live fully, to love deeply, to walk your path with dignity. So I tell you congratulations if you are here before 21 September 2025. Life is giving you this message because it is time to rise into discipline. It is time to break the chains of distraction, of laziness, of excuses. It is time to build the habits that will liberate you. Discipline is not your enemy, it is your greatest ally. And when you embrace it, you will discover a freedom greater than you ever imagined. Discipline creates freedom, and freedom is the essence of a meaningful life.